2-in-1 blue laser great for engraving wood, infrared laser great for engraving plastic and metals. Welcome to my Tech Fun to very special laser engraver review video. This is WeCreat Lumos and it is equipped with the diode and infrared lasers, and we can switch between them from the software. These two boxes are sent to me by the WeCreat company in exchange for the review. There is no additional payment, but the whole channel is sponsored by Polymaker. It's interesting because it was box in a box, and when I take a look what is inside, I could see that it was addressed to another influencer, and I wasn't sure is this mistake, so I wrote an email to WeCreat to ask them, do we have the same product, only the boxes are switched, and somehow that email lost in a space. And now 3 months later they asked me how is my progress with the video, and then I told them what is the situation, and they confirmed that probably it should be the same product, but they are not sure. So I will talk about specifications, and I'm hoping that inside is the WeCreat Lumos. It is equipped with 10-watt diode laser, which is great for engraving a wood, but also 3-watt infrared laser, which is great for engraving metals, and we can switch between them from the software, no need for assembling and similar. It is equipped with HD camera, autofocus possibility. The workspace is 160 mm in X and Y direction, and the maximum speed is 4000 mm per second. This is very big speed because the Galvo system can work very fast. But of course this is mostly the traveling speed because the engraving speed will be lower. Also we can buy the slide extension. In that case the working area will be longer, 520 mm. In a separate box I got the magnetic protective shield for handheld mode. And huge advantage of this product is that they have their own software. It is compatible with the Lightburn, but it is not free software. Additionally, here we need the Galvo license too. I have this license, but I will use their own software, which is completely free, and it rides with the product, which is WeCreat Make It. Let's see what's in the box. This is content of the bigger box. This is the main unit, and then we have some ventilation hose or pipe, tools, power adapter. The output is 24 volts and 7 amperes. Unfortunately I have to use it with this adapter, which I don't really like, but actually this is very standard, so I can use my own cable if I want to. Connection with the computer will be over this USB cable, but also we have this adapter to USB Type-C. This should protect our desk. This plate is good for the cutting, and this one for the engraving. It has these holes for the holders. In case you want to use it in a handheld mode, I think this should go somewhere here, yes. So far my experience was very positive, but then I wanted to turn it on, and then I faced this. So dear WeCreat, this is EU plug, and this cannot go inside. See? This is from one of my printers. This is the back side. Setting the focus manually or automatic, plugs for the extensions, for example for the rotary unit, USB connection with the laptop, power, switch, and here I have to use these screws to plug this adapter for the pipe. Temporary solution for this review video. Everything is prepared, the connection is over this USB cable. Setting the focus. I started WeCreat Make It application, and immediately it offered me a download for the update 3.3.0. And I click on download, but later I noticed it was 3.00 version, which will cause problems later with the color engraving. It offered me a firmware update for the Engraver, so I installed that, and then I inserted this text, and this will be my first engraving, and I'm using the default settings. With click of top button it will start with engraving. This is my absolute first attempt, and there is no need for settings or something like that. I just choose the material and everything works correctly even in first attempt. Let's refresh the picture from the camera, and now I can see the graphics. Of course I move it in the meantime. Just let's check the accuracy, I'm just curious. I'm inserting a rectangle, and this text should be exactly in the center. In x-axis extremely accurate, in y-axis the rectangle is just a little bit higher, but the accuracy is less than a half millimeters. Let's try some combination of cutting and engraving. Because of this shield we are quite limited with the size of the object. My Tech1 logo will be engraved and it will be cut out, so this circle will have the cutting properties, all default settings for this material. The exhaust system works really nice. The whole system is really beginner friendly. You don't have the error assist, but even the cutting is quite sharp and nice, exactly correct settings. I don't really like the limitation of this shield. For example, I couldn't engrave here in the corner. Let's see if it will work with open shield. Well, it is partly closed but not completely, because I don't have the safety glasses here. And of course the exhaust fan shouldn't work so nice, but let's see. Oh, exhaust fan still works quite nice, but flame appeared now, more oxygen. Interesting result. With the shield partly open it will get more ventilation and more air, and some flame appeared, so we don't have so nice sharp edges here compared to this one when the shield was completely closed. Good to know. Now I'll try to engrave a grayscale image, and this side is whiter, so I'll try to engrave somewhere here. I just inserted this bitmap image and I didn't change anything. Again, I'm using completely different settings. Position check with that rectangle. This is real-time speed, and the engraving time will be just a little bit more than 1 minute only. And always mention that these dyed lasers up to 10 watts are much better for the engraving, because the result is much sharper image and the spot compared to those, like, let's say 40 watts, which are good for the cutting but don't give us nice picture during the engraving. I want to check the accuracy in the corners, so I have these 20mm squares, 5 pieces. This will be a very fast engraving. It's done. I wanted to measure them to make some chart in the Excel, but with the ruler I cannot measure any deviation. It is 20mm in all 5 cases, in both axes. Let's see if we can cut 3mm black acrylic. The material exists in a database, plastic, and here it is, black acrylic. And different settings for the cutting, 100% power and 3mm per second speed. Autofocus is set. I really hate the smell of the burned black acrylic, so it is good that it is connected to the ventilation. I wait a few seconds before I take it out. Not a complete success. Let's see if I can press it out. Oh. Okay, let's try one more time. Not completely cut and almost, so I have two options. Or I have to reduce the speed from 3 to 2, or I can do this with 3mm per second in 2 passes. There will be 2 passes, but I will speed up this part now. And it fell out. Okay. I really like the final result, very sharp edges, and it is always much nicer and safer to use more passes instead of the slowing down, especially with the wood. 3mm MDF, and this is very hard for the cutting for these 10W dyed lasers. I checked that there is some kind of high density wood and preset values 100% power and 2mm per second. Let's see if one pass will be enough. Side by side, the first one we have one pass and the other, oops, it stopped, it detected a flame. Unfortunately it couldn't even start. Yes, there is a flame. New setting, speed will be 3mm per second in 2 passes. Yes, and now the shield is partly opened. Stop. I break off this part in the corner to see if I can cut with the close shield. Speed 3, 2 passes. No, it stopped. Well, yes, without air assist, the cutting capabilities of this engraver are quite limited. One more attempt, I increase the speed to 4, 2 passes. No, okay, I give up. This is anodized aluminum, and all these engravings are done with the blue laser. Probably the infra would be better here, but I don't know, let's try first with the blue one. There are different preset values, but there are also suggestions for the fill engraving on the picture on the right bottom corner. Actually, this will be my second attempt. The first one was too weak. I will show you soon the final result. Is this one here? Actually, I didn't change the speed, only the power from 33 to 100%. Just a little bit slower and it will be completely fine. But let's move forward. This is now with the red laser, power 33% and speed 10 mm per second. It's this one, and probably here the power could be increased, I know, to 80% and it will be fine. Okay, one more attempt. Speed again 10 mm per second, but the power is 80%. Oh, it's already finished. Is this one? An interesting thing I noticed that it is not so white like this one here, but I hope you can hear it. It is deeper. Interesting. Now let's see what can we do with the raw aluminum, with the red laser of course. And again there are preset values for this material and also suggestions on this card. It is this one, very visible, even this thin line, and I can feel the depth of it. Now let's try brass. I found a little bit confusing things, so if I use the autofocus, it will detect the height, and I think that it is 12.5 mm thick. Ah yes, maybe together with the plate, okay. The focus is set correctly even with this plate, because this is lower and probably now the height is measured correctly. And now this number is correct. I mean, the autofocus would be set correctly in both cases, but now this data match to the reality. Autofocus, and it's lowered. This is real-time speed. Power is 100% and the speed is 10 mm per second. And it will be finished in 20 seconds, I think. This is very strong engraving in a brass. Now let's try to engrave a copper, and it's a little bit dirty from previous attempts with different lasers. Copper real-time speed. Oh yes, it's definitely there, and I can even feel the depth of this engraving. And now first with the steel. This was done with the fiber laser, just a regular marking on the other side. I have the feeling that this will be very fast. It's finished. The speed is not like with the fiber lasers, but this is also very nice and permanent marking. And now stainless steel, and if I play a little bit with the settings and parameters, I can even get some colors. According to instructions, we need 3.0.1 version, and when I started my old software, it offered me an upgrade and I thought it was the latest version, but actually it was the upgrade to 3.00. Even checking in the application, it confirmed that it is the latest version, and that's why my color engraving menu point was not available. And all this I noticed much later. So if you already have an older version installed, don't use the update inside the application, but go directly to the website and download from there. So I couldn't do the focus effect test, but regular speed power test, yes, and I will set the focus manually. Beside the speed and the power, there is one more important parameter, and that's the focus. Now I don't have that menu point in my software, but I will try to change slightly the focus and I will repeat the same engraving. Manually I will lift it up approximately 2 mm, maybe 3. Exactly the same engraving, but now 3 mm higher focus. Maybe this is too high, but I will analyze it later. Exactly the same engraving like here, only with 3 mm higher focus, and here on 10 mm per second speed I can see some colors appeared. I really like this blue one on 55% power. As you can see, this requires a lot of experimenting, and then you have to record those values, and then you can create some color images too on stainless steel. Can we engrave plastic? I know that this is from the ABS and I don't have too much space for the testing, but let's find some different values. This is the top menu: leather, plastic, silicone, rubber, metal, stone, ceramic, and unfortunately in the plastic menu we have different acrylics, but there is no ABS, for example. And again there are some preset values, and we have this card, and if I choose this speed and power and if I click it, it will already change these settings for me, so I don't have to modify anything else. Let's try this one. But let's give it a try. Oh, I can see it. This was really a pleasant surprise. It's definitely there and it's permanent, and look how sharp are these letters. WeCreat Lumos. This was really a pleasant surprise. Not only that we will get two types of the lasers for different materials, but also we can switch between them with just click of the button in a software. And of course the software is very important. That's one of the secrets of the success of Bambu Lab, Prusa, Carrera Air. They offer a quite decent hardware and a software optimized for this hardware. And WeCreat make it. It was quite buggy when I tested it first time, maybe a year and a half ago, but I can see now quite big improvements. And as I mentioned, it's completely free. We will get it with this product, and also it is optimized for this hardware. Preset values are good, not perfect, but it is a good start point, and then if necessary we can do some small corrections. Camera for the positioning is very comfortable for the use, quite accurate without calibration in my case, and if that accuracy is not enough, we can still enable the framing, because the Galva system is very fast and we can see that rectangle, and if the graphic is simpler, like some text, basically we can see the outline, and in this case the positioning will be maximally accurate. Now it is not so good for the cutting, not because of the 10-watt diode laser, which could be enough in some cases. Of course it is enough for, I don't know, 3mm plywood, but without air assist it will catch a flame with some thicker or harder materials. And additionally, don't forget this is Galva system, so the beam starts from one point, and if the cutting is in edges, for example, it will be under some angle and we will not have so straight edges. Maybe this is not important in most cases, but we have to keep this in mind. Another disadvantage is the limited area, not only the engraving working area, but also the size of the object. Yes, we can lift the shield, and in that case we can place some bigger objects too, but keep in mind that some bouncing lasers may damage your eyes, so in that case it will be good to have some kind of safety glasses, because the shield will not protect us. For the engraving, 10-watt diode laser or these infrared lasers are great, even compared to, let's say, those 40-watt diode lasers which are optimized for the cutting, but that spot is not so small like with the 10-watt, and here we will always have much sharper, nicer engravings. Watching this engraving on this plastic gives me an idea to test what can we do with infrared on the 3D printing plastic. I have a lot of experience with the blue laser, but with the red it is quite new to me, and maybe there will be another video to see if we can engrave, I don't know, PLA, PETG, ABS and other 3D printed plastic. What do you think about this? Anyway, thank you for watching this video until the end, and happy printing. No, engraving. Oh,